What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Deep Dig Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew, with my other host right here next to me.
What's up? It's D. Good to see you again. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the pod, whether it be here on YouTube or an audio version. We have that on Spotify, Apple Podcast, all those good things. Just be sure to follow. It really helps out.
Yeah, guys, we are getting some subscribers, a lot of comments lately. Keep them coming. We got more content coming every week this offseason. But today, 49ers got some rumors. We're going to start there because there was a report that said Baker Mayfield might be interested in the 49ers. So the 49ers actually should be interested in signing Baker Mayfield. I believe that was Albert Breer.
It was Breer.
And so what do you think about a move of 49ers bringing in Mayfield and Mayfield wanting to come to San Francisco? Is that a possibility? Is that like out of the question?
If I'm Baker Mayfield, I'm just staying with the Rams. Like, why wouldn't you want to be Matthew Stafford's backup, knowing Matthew Stafford's arm fell off last year pretty much? And, you have that opportunity to actually start games, to work with Sean McVay, who, everyone sees as this like great offensive mind. Just stay there where you're familiar. You've already won a couple games. I would do that if I was him. Why not? As far as the move to San Francisco, I personally don't see it. You have Christian McCaffrey there. You have Nick Bosa, just two guys who are the biggest Baker Mayfield fans. And they're like two of the biggest stars on the team. So why even roll the dice? Why do that? If I'm Baker, I would just stay with, the Rams. And if I'm the 49ers, I'm looking at it and I'm like, what do we have to gain here? Not really a whole lot of upside with Baker Mayfield. You've seen him at his best. I'm not a fan.
I mean, to me, I think Baker Mayfield can be a starting quarterback for certain teams in the league. I don't see the connection with staying with the Rams because the cap space with Matt Stafford, that team is falling off next season even harder because they're letting all their veteran defensive players go. With the 49ers, I don't really see it either. The cap space still not good here. Who's to say he plays good and then Brock Purdy comes back and now we have a whole situation on our hands? Who's to say that he plays terrible and we just wasted money on a quarterback when we could have just rolled Trey Lance out? We're just going to muddy the waters of our quarterback room with Baker Mayfield. Not saying it'd be a bad thing bringing him in, but it wouldn't be a net positive to me.
I think his play in Carolina just shows like he's not good enough to be a starter. I don't think he's good enough to be a starter.
I think he's good enough to be a starter on a team that's like established, that has weapons, where he can just go and be a regular guy. Like he doesn't have to elevate them. And that's why like the Saints was not a good option for him. We'll talk about that. But where I think he should look into going, if he's not going to go to like a Arizona and be a bridge quarterback or somewhere like that, he should look into going to Miami because they're out on Tua. They said they're going to look at options of maybe moving him. You could go there and come in like that. Oh, I'm going to be the bridge guy, but potentially win over the job. If you could stay healthy and play on the same level of just consistency as like Tua was when he was, throwing slant routes to Jalen Waddle, I think that's a good spot for Baker.
See, I would go like Buffalo. I would do the Mitch Trubisky route. Hey, you know what? I'm going to stay here for a year. I'm going to fly under the radar, and then I'm going to go be a starter. I'm going to go make starter money because they've seen, hey, I'm fine being the backup. I've honed in my skills. I've learned from Josh Allen, and then let's go make a bag. That's what I would do if I was Baker. I wouldn't immediately hop in because you're not that good. Like, you know what I mean? You're just not that good. The best thing for Baker is to just sit on the sideline, out of sight, out of mind. And then a year from now, people are like, hey, remember Baker Mayfield? Like, you remember the number one pick in the draft? He was actually, there's so much potential with him. I could make it work. So they're going to overpay on that. Like, that's the thing with quarterbacks is like when they are out of sight, out of mind, and they still have a reputation of you were the number one pick in the draft, that means something. And you can get a contract without actually being that good. Again, Mitch Trubisky goes to the Bills, sits out a year, then gets a starting deal with the Steelers.
Yeah, I think it's really what route does Baker want to take? Does he want to be a starter for sure next year where he goes to like an Arizona for most of the season, a Houston and Atlanta, where they just need a guy? And you're not going to, win an MVP or go to the playoffs, but you can showcase your skills as a starter and, keep your career going. Or do you want to go be a backup for a year and learn and really show like you can be a team guy and maybe be bridge for a few years for a different team, or just go compete. I think Baker's a guy that wants to go compete, and that's why I think the Miami thing is really where he could be best suited. They got the weapons. They got plenty of good players for him to look good in camp. But let's go to another rumor. Philip Rivers is in the news for some reason. I think it Dove Kleiman that reported this?
No, it was Rich Eisen.
Rich Eisen say, and I saw that they said they heard from multiple people at the combine that Philip Rivers is going around saying that he's ready, he can come in for a team, and he specifically went to the 49ers and said that he can come and help this team.
It was the 49ers and the Dolphins. Apparently, towards the end of last season, he came back and told them, like, you need me, I'm here. Which they should have had him out there rather than Josh fucking Johnson. How ridiculous is that? But anyways, I like Philip Rivers. I think that getting him doesn't hurt, Trey Lance's ego. It still, you need, again, just arms in preseason. You need arms in training camp. Brock Purdy's going to be out for the foreseeable future. We'll see how his surgery goes. Maybe he's out for the entire year. Maybe it's just a few weeks right up until the start of the regular season. But either way, he's going to be out. You're going to need, arms. Why not a Philip Rivers, who is a veteran quarterback who took the Colts to the playoffs? And we've seen since then, they've been trying to recreate that magic, and they just haven't. It's fallen off a cliff. So I like him. I like what he can do. I like his competitive edge. I like that he's actually had an entire year to rest his body. His arm did look pretty shot towards the end there, but if he says he's good to go, at least give him a workout, try it out.
I'm in the opposite camp where I think he's done. I don't want Philip Rivers coming and messing up this team. It would have been nice to have him last year at the end of the season when Brock Purdy goes down, obviously, but who knows how that would have shook, Brock Purdy and that quarterback room and Trey Lance already last season. I think Brock Purdy is a pretty strong-minded guy, but bringing in the quarterback does tell you, oh, well, we don't believe in this guy. Even though that's why they didn't bring in Philip Rivers. They completely believed in Brock Purdy, and you just rolled the dice on his health. But going into this season, if you need arms, bring in like Chris Streveler or like some random guy. Philip Rivers isn't an arm. He's going to come in looking for a full-time, full-season job.
No, he's not.
He is. He's telling.
Old. He just wants a ring, bro.
So that's why. Why would he come back? Why would he come back to be a backup? He's coming back to win a ring himself.
No, I'm guaranteeing you, he'd be fine just riding the bench, being that guy.
Mm-mm.
I think so, bro. Like, why would he's not the fucking guy anymore? He knows he's not the guy. He literally sat out an entire year, but
he didn't come
a guy who can play 2 to 3
He didn't come to the
well.
Niners last season to come and be the bench.
He came to play 2 to 3 games, which
and
is what
win a
he's
Super Bowl.
2 to 3 games. That's it. That's all he came for. 2 to 3 games. That's it. And
yeah,
honestly,
but if we sign him at the beginning of this season, it wouldn't be for 2 or 3 games. He'd be like, I'm better than these guys. I want to be the starter this season.
I doubt he's better than Brock Purdy. He's not better than Brock Purdy.
But he thinks he's better than
He might be better than Trey Lance. Like, who knows? But
he's not coming here to be a second or third string quarterback on a team.
Yeah, he is. If he's going to come back,
he's no Chad Henne.
Guaranteed he's not starting. Like, where, if he's going somewhere, is he going to start? Where? Tell me where he's going to start.
That's what I'm telling you. He's not a starter. He shouldn't come back.
Okay, then he's going to come back and ride the bench.
No, you're saying he's going to come back.
A depth guy.
There's no way he comes back to be Brock Purdy's backup. He's coming for the job.
No, I'm guaranteed
he wouldn't get it.
Wants to help reload and get a ring.
Let us know in the comments. Do you think Philip Rivers is coming back to be a backup, or do you think he's coming in to be a starter? Let us know. Like, I think there's no way he's coming to be a backup. Why would you be this old and this retired and be like, well, I'm thinking about making a comeback for the bench?
Bro, he thinks that, well, there is a very good possibility that the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers is going to get hurt for however long length of time that is, be it 3 games, be it 4 games, be it the rest of the season. That's what he wants. He wants to sit there and wait, not play a whole season, but wait for those key opportunities when a quarterback is injured. And guess what? He's the next guy up.
So then why not wait until after the trade deadline next season and then be like, well, whoever wants me, come get me? Because why would he put his body through every week And just to be like, hey, remember that playoff run where I played week 6 and 7, and then I sat the bench the rest of the year? He ain't coming out of retirement for that. There's no fucking
All
way.
right. I mean, he would still get a ring. Like,
Do you think if Ben Roethlisberger came back right now for a season, he would be
no.
he'd be a starter or a bench
no.
player?
There's no if the fucking Steelers are telling you, Ben, you're retiring.
But
There's no way that
as
he's
someone
coming back.
like in that discussion, in that level, that was a great quarterback. If he came back, do you think he would want to be a bench player or a starter?
He would have to be a bench player. That's what.
But
the
what would
Steelers
he
told
want to
him.
be?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That's what teams are telling you. That's why he had to fucking.
And that's why he
retire.
wouldn't come back, because no team is gonna tell. No
But
team
then
is gonna
why
tell
is
Philip Rivers.
coming back? If he says, "Hey, I want to come back," and the teams are telling him, like, "Hey, like you would be a backup," and he still wants to come back, then he wants to be a backup.
I don't know. I have to see more. I don't know. I don't even know if he even has it in him. You say he got a year of rest, so he's healthier. I say he got a year older. So,
All right. Yep.
let us know in the comments. Let us know how you feel about Philip Rivers. Okay, we're moving on.
Who would have known Philip Rivers is a hot
Dude,
button
I
issue for
love
this?
Philip Rivers. I don't know why you're making me so mad.
You chose to hate on him.
I just feel good about the 49ers roster as is, okay?